I have to tell you that the winery was created from my father and my mother, Mariella, and she was an incredible woman. She passed away 15 years ago, but she lives in this big dream that we carry on. And to her, we dedicated the Marie, that means Mamma Mariella, and is our Sauvignon Blanc. And she started everything with my father because the funny story is that them started the winery totally alone, and then start to build a winery and promote the winery. They go around the restaurant and around the event to promote the story, and they together, step by step, create everything of that, and now me and my brothers carry on that.
Welcome to this special Clubhouse session of the Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as members of the Italian wine community engage in fascinating conversations about contemporary wine topics. If you enjoyed the show, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. And remember to subscribe and rate the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your pods.
Hi everyone, this is Beatrice welcoming you to the Italian Wine Clubhouse Ambassadors Corner, one of the top-ranked shows on Italian Wine Podcast. Here, our ambassadors get the mic to interview their favorite producers with total freedom. And if you miss it live, no worries, it's all recorded and dropped later on the Italian Wine Podcast. Today's guest host is Alberto Rivera. Alberto embarked on his journey in the world of wine after concluding his service as a diplomat at the Mexican embassy in Japan. He began his career by developing a private wine collection and hosting exclusive tasting for a discerning clientele. Following the successful completion of the Italian and French program at the Wine Scholar Guild, he was appointed Italian Program Director for Wikivinos, a Latin American online platform where he lectured to emerging wine professionals seeking to deepen their knowledge of Italian wine and its cultural context as a tool to enhance their sales strategies. In 2024, Alberto was admitted to the prestigious Vinitaly International Academy in Verona, where he successfully passed the rigorous examination to become an Italian wine ambassador. He also holds the title of Langhe Wine Ambassador. Today, he serves as a consultant for Italian specialized restaurants in Chihuahua and the northern region of Mexico, advising of wine selection and curating programs that highlight Italy's rich viticultural heritage. Today, he's gonna interview Federica Fina from Cantine Fina. So, Fede, Albe, how you doing, guys, today?
I'm doing great and looking forward to interview Federica today.
Me too.
Perfect. And Alberto, are you ready for our 3 ritual questions?
Let's start the interview.
How did you discover the wines of Cantine Fina?
Well, last year, I road trip across Sicily and ended my wine journey in Marsala. We all know the area for its fortified wines, but I wanted to go deeper and explore which wineries were producing still wines with Grillo, since this grape truly belongs to the Trapani area. During my research, I discovered Cantine Fina, and I was impressed by their work. They are not only doing an excellent job with Grillo, but they also craft beautiful wines from both autochthonous and international varieties, which completely surprised me when I tasted them at their premises.
So tell us, why did you select Federica as your featured producer?
I had to start by saying that Federica's family and their winery are a true symbol of I vini siciliani. They are like ambassadors of Sicily itself, representing the values of a family that works every day to show not only the excellence of their territory, but also the very best that Sicily can offer to the world. They are outside-the-box thinkers. And I will add that Federica Fina is not only recognized because of her family name. She has done an outstanding job elevating their brand and connecting it with a wider audience. Her dedication has been recognized nationally, earning her a spot on Forbes Italy's Best Under 40 in 2025, and as well as Fortune's Italia's list of the 40 under 40 wine industry leaders in 2023, and La Repubblica's a newspaper Best Under 40.
Well, congratulations, Federica. That was really amazing.
Thank you.
What are the learning objectives that we should expect from this interview?
In this interview with Federica Fina, listeners will journey into the heart of Cantine Fina, discovering the rich legacy of a family winery that combines tradition and innovation. Through her stories, we will explore how her father's pioneering work in the Trapani area shaped the winery and the creation of iconic wines like Caro Maestro and Quique, and the values that the Fina family has preserved over generations. We also delve into the role of women in the Italian wine industry as Federica shares her personal journey of joining the family business as a youngest sibling, making her mark in a traditional male-dominated environment, and leading initiatives in communication, marketing, and enoturism. Her experience inspires future generations of women, showing how passion, dedication, and creativity can open doors in the world of wine. Finally, listeners will gain practical insights into wine tasting, pairing wines with both traditional Sicilian dishes and international cuisines, and tips for engaging clients to create memorable wine experience. Federica also shares advice on discovering Cantine Fina wines in different markets and practical guidance for wine professionals on global promotions and business travel, making this conversation both inspiring and highly actionable for wine lovers and industry enthusiasts alike.
That sounds like a really nice plan, so it's time for me to mute myself. And now I'm turning over the floor to you, Alberto, and guys, have a nice interview.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beatrice, and welcome, Federica.
Grazie. Grazie, Alberto. Thank you so much.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure for me to have Federica Fina as my guest on the Italian Wine Podcast. And rather than taking up too much time myself, I had loved to invite Federica to introduce herself and share a bit about her professional journey as well as her role at Cantine Fina. So please, Federica, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm Federica Fina, but people know me like Kika Fina. That is my nickname. Is the name like my family called me from was child. And I'm part of a family business of the dream of my parents. Is our winery that is located in the west part of Sicily. And it was a big dream for my parents to create the winery. And I take care communication, marketing, PR, brand manager, and hospitality in my winery. And so I'm full of things to do. And go around the world to promote the Sicily and our wines too. For me, it's a big responsibility.
Well, that sounds amazing, Federica or Kika. I don't know if I can call you Kika, but
The same,
yeah,
don't worry.
it's yeah. Okay, fantastic. So your family has doing, and you, of course, have been doing an amazing job in your winery. I had the opportunity to visit your winery last year with a friend, Rosa. So we were really impressed by how you were doing and working with several grades and all of that. So my first question will be I have loved to ask you what it was like to grow up in a family of wine producers and then watch the winery evolve over time. Could you share a personal memory that comes to mind? Perhaps one you often think of when you are giving a wine tour in the winery or when you are giving a wine tasting with foreign customers abroad or there in the winery?
So, growing up in a family of wine producers, it was well. I grew up to smell wine from the glasses of my parents and sometimes taste a little bit. So, what else? No? I have a funny story about my childhood. I was at primary school and the teacher gave us homework. Tell about your father's job. I was 6, and when I come back home, I asked to my parents, what's the dad job? They answered me that dad is an enologo. So if you say in English winemaker, it is easier to understand that a person that makes wines, but in Italian is enologo. So it is not easy to understand for a child. So that day I learned a new word and something about my father. But one of my best memory is that my brothers and I grew up around wineries. Our summer was stopped in August with the harvest time, and before to have our winery, we were rent 5 different wineries to produce our wines. And we sailed till late night, and sometimes I went to sleep in the car of my parents. This was our childhood, and now watching all of this is a big emotion for us.
Yeah, I can relate to that because, well, I am also like the smallest one in my family. I have memories of my parents too. So I will read the next question because it's like we all understand what I'm saying. So you're the youngest of 3 siblings, and your parents founded Cantine Fina. So I can relate. I am also the youngest in my family, and my father founded a spice and chili company in Mexico. So I know what it's like to grow up in a family business and be the little one. So did you always expected that you will eventually join the winery as an adult, or that decision surprised you?
Yes, from the beginning. My parents always shared the big dream to create a winery with me and my brothers. So we lived the dream with them. We lived the sacrifice and the big joy when we came true. For us, it's like a little sister born when we were teenagers.
So there is no siblings. There are 4 siblings. The winery is the fourth
Actually, we are
sibling.
two. We are three. Yes, my two brothers and me. Yes.
Speaking about your parents, I will try to bring your father to the conversation. So he was involved in an important project mapping international grapes in the Trapani area, which ultimately led him to plant Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot, and Merlot. Could you tell us a bit about that project and share something about his friendship with Giacomo Takis and, of course, about your wine Caro Maestro, please?
He started his career at Institute of Viticulture of Sicily, and he was part of experimental research made in Sicily in 1990, where he met Giacomo Takis, one of the most important Italian winemaker in the world. Takis was the father of Sassicaia, Tignanello, Ornellaia, and they started experimental research to plant the international variety around Sicily. And then they started the result to discover that Sicily like a viticulture continent. So they planted in different area the international variety. Yes, they discovered that Sicily, like a viticulture continent, is a land where you can find the best area for each kind of variety because we have the mountains, we have the hills, the sea level, and the important difference of temperature day by night that permit us to find the best area for each kind of variety. And after this important experimental research, it started a friendship and professional friendship with Giacomo Takis, and then my father worked next to him for 20 years. So you have to imagine that my father was a young winemaker that started his career next to the big one, and of course he understood that it was a lucky thing, and he transformed himself like a sponge for everything about wine by this big master. And of course, next to Giacomo Takis, my father started to dream his winery. In 2005 his dream became true, and when the dream became true, the first label, the first wine produced by my father, like Fina brand, of course, it was a Bordeaux blend, 70 Cabernet, 25 Merlot, and 5 Petit Verdot, that he called Caro Maestro. Caro Maestro in Italian language means dear master, and of course is a tribute to his master of wine that was Giacomo Takis. I used to say that, of course, to the inventor of Super Tuscany, my father dedicated a Super Sicilian.
Yeah, that wine, when I tasted and when I heard the history of that wine, I was in love because it's like unheard, that unknown, that Giacomo Takis and a winery in Sicily had like ties together. So it was really good storytelling. And also hearing from you, one of the owners of the winery, is so lovely. And the wine is lovely too. It's impressive too. So thank you for sharing the history with us. Now that we have talked about your father's work,
Thank you.
oh,
Sorry, thank you for this opportunity. I want to say thank you for this opportunity to tell our story at Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you, Alberto, for that.
thanks to you for accepting it. It's an honor to have you. So now that we have talked about your father's work at the winery and in the Marsala area, I want to ask you, what are the most important lessons he has taught you over the years? And of course, the ones that you feel committed to preserving as part of his legacy from you, a single person, as his daughter, and also together with your brothers.
So I'm a person that observe a lot. I admire his calmness in dealing with every situation to find a solution in everything. I admire that he never stop. He wake up really early in the morning and he do several things during the day. He's full of energy and he's 70. I want to be like him, but at the moment I have just the 15% of his quality. I'm too lazy compared to him at the moment.
Yeah, sometimes our fathers have way more energy than us, than younger generations, and that is impressive. I don't know where they get that energy, really.
They give us the best lesson for the future.
Yeah, of course, that's correct. I believe that one of the beautiful legacies that you leave is the wonderful Kike wine that your winery produced with Grillo. Could you share with us how this wine is made and why I call it a wine legacy since it carries your name? Well, almost your nickname.
Yes, Kike is our bestseller wine. Actually, Kike is made 90% Traminer and 10 Sauvignon Blanc. It's not Grillo. Our Grillo is called Che Brilla and Firma del Tempo. And actually, Kike is made 90 Traminer and 10 Sauvignon Blanc. And the story is amazing because it was a big challenge for him because both are not native grapes from Sicily but are typical from North Italy. And the funny story is that in 2006, he's come in the winery and told to me and my brothers, I planted Traminer in Erice Mount, a mountain next to my town, in 550 meters above sea level in the northern side of the mount, and told us, I planted Traminer, in 3 years we will produce Traminer. So we replied to him, okay, Dad, you are mad. In 3 years, the Traminer was ready for the first production in 2009, and he told us after harvest, okay, the Traminer is ready, we can produce 8,000 bottles of Traminer, of Kike. My brother Marco, that is the salesman of the winery, replied, oh, Dad, 3,000 bottles of Sicilian Traminer, what to buy? So we'll try with 3,000. If we sold, we bottling the rest. And my father replied, you will bottling 8,000 bottles. If you don't sold, I will drink. In 3 months was sold out. And in the years, he planted in other area, like, so the first one, Erice Mount, 550 meters above sea level. The next one was in Santa Ninfa, 520 meters above sea level, and also in Marineo, 850 meters above sea level. This is the Sicily like a viticulture continent that I told you. Now are 80,000 or 10,000 bottles, depend of the year, because we work with modern natures, produced and sold of our Kike. So it's with the 10% of the Sauvignon Blanc, use the 10% the Sauvignon Blanc for give balance at wine because he love balance in the wines. And sometimes the Traminer could be too aromatic. With the 10% of Sauvignon Blanc, you give more balance and permit the people to have more balanced wine, to have 2 or 3 glasses of Traminer. So we love to call all our wines with a family memory. And with all my vanity and all my proud, I tell you that Kike is my nickname. I'm the youngest of the family. My name is Federica, but they don't call me Kika. So the cutie form of Kika is Kiketta. The short form of cutie form is Kike. And when I was child, was always Kike, do homework. Kike, your room is messy. Finally, it's a bestseller wine, but my room is still messy. I don't know if my father dedicated to me because he loved me or because I'm a challenge like a daughter, but doesn't matter. I'm so proud about it.
Yeah, of course. We tasted several wines at your winery when we went, and Quique was one of the most interesting, along with Quebrila. And you are correct. Quebrila is the Grillo. So, and I remember that Quebrila, I don't want to have a mistake again, but I remember that your post manager told us a history about that the name was about a song. I remember, and I don't remember the artist, but I don't remember if it was
Right,
that
it's right.
one.
Gabriela. Yes,
Yeah,
it's right.
could you share with us that history in the conversation too?
Grape is for Marsala city is like a flag because it's the historical variety to make Marsala wines. And Marsala area is an area where Grillo grew up really well. And for this reason, we love so much this kind of variety. So it's a kind of variety that have a high structure in the plant. So it's really versatile to work this kind of variety. And my father loves so much. For this reason, we produce 3 different of Grillo. We have the Quebrilla, that is the dry version. We have the sparkling, that is the Maquisè, Marco Chica and Sergio, and the late harvest of Grillo grape. Actually, last April we launched a new one, our reserve of Grillo, Firma del Tempo, produced from our vineyards on the natural reserve of Stagnone, where we produce the Sicilian salt. And it's a unique place in the world because our vineyards next to the sea and in front of the salt flat, where we produce the Sicilian salt. And this part, Firma del Tempo, of a new project called the Salt West, that have us with others 4 wine producer that altogether promote this special area in the world. With us, we have Cantine Fina, of course, Officina del Vento of the 3 Master of Wines, Gorelli, Lonardi, and Russo, Mastro di Baglio, Francesco Intorcia, and Baglio Oro. But for our Quebrilla, I want to talk about our Quebrilla, that is a mineral wine, because in this case, for the Quebrilla, we have 2 different areas for production grapes. Half part of the vineyards are from the sea level in front of the sea, and the second 50% are from a hill, Salemi area. So by this glass, you can understand that my father loved balance because it is a mineral wine. You can taste freshness, acidity, and sapidity too. I used to say about Quebrilla that is a chameleontic wine. It's a kind of wine that you could pairing with which kind of food you want. So 15% of the juice will make fermentation in the barrique, and the other part on the stainless steel tank. And Quebrilla is a white wine that have a good aging, 5, 6, 8, 10 years and more. Quebrilla, the story of the name is so funny because we love music in the family all together, but we have a singer that is our favorite, and is Giovanotti. I'm sorry, he's an Italian, is an Italian singer. He wrote this song. The title is Quebrilla. We love the words of this song, and we called the wine with our favorite song. And but funny because che brilla in Italian mean that shine or that drunk. always, because it's not to drink, but when you start to drink some glasses of wines and you are a little bit happy. We stalked the singer and told him the tribute. He was really happy, and she passed his CD with the sign. And so by the Che Brilla is born also Che Brillerà, that is a music event that we organize every year in my winery. We organize music concert with famous singer, Italian singer international. We hosted Vinicio Capostella, Roy Paci, also Jimmy Sachs. Maybe you know Jimmy Sachs because he's more international than others that I say.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to ask you also about your new labels because I didn't have the chance to taste it. I knew they were presented this year in Vinirali, I think. But yeah, I didn't know also that Firma del Tempo was produced in the Estañones region, so that's so impressive to know. And thank you for sharing that. So now I had like to shift the narrative a bit and really bring your voice forward on a topic that I think everyone is curious about. So, what was the impact of your arrival at the winery? You were quite young and you brought a feminine energy into a place that had always been Fina before you returned from your studies in Rome. So, what was that like?
So I was shy, but I have always believed that my parents' story deserved to be told. My passion about that story that I lived with them naturally delayed my shyness and my insecurities. And so I'm a storyteller, a communication person. I immediately found my role in the winery. I love to share all of this with the people that hearing me. I used to say that me and my brother are the first blend that my father created. Sergio is a winemaker. Marco is a salesman manager, and I'm the brand manager and the communicator of the family.
What also back when you enter in the winery, there were more women in the team, like in the whole winery, or have increased the number of women thanks to you, or
I don't remember. I was the unique woman, maybe, but now we are six. So I was alone for first, yes, but now we are six. I have Melania, that is our export manager. I have Sofia, that is hospitality manager with me, and I have Clarice and Valentina, but we have a lot of women that work for us outside of the winery, like sales women.
there are a couple of women in your team, and that's
But I
good to
want
know.
to speak about the real woman and the special woman that created everything with my father. She was my mother because I have to tell you that the winery was created from my father and my mother, Mariella. And she was an incredible woman. She passed away 15 years ago, but she lives in this big dream that we carry on. And to her, we dedicated the Marie, that means Mamma Mariella, and is our Sauvignon Blanc. And she started everything with my father because the funny story is that them started the winery totally alone, and then start to build a winery and promote the winery. They go around the restaurant and around the event to promote the story, and they together, step by step, create everything of that. And now me and my brothers carry on that.
Thanks to bring your mom over to the conversation. So, can you speak a little bit more about her if you can? I didn't know if I could ask. Do you have any more memories, or do you want to bring her a little bit more in the part of what was her role in the construction of the legacy of your family winery?
So they built together the winery, my father, my mom, and Toph. I have a big memory because So she was a teacher for middle school, but in the afternoon they worked in the winery with my father. She followed always the job of my father also when we was child, and we got to rent the wineries for produce the wine. And when they start the trade fair, she take care also the export part with the middle school English, and it was an incredible challenge for her. But she never stopped about that in front of this thing.
Wow, that's amazing. So how she also works together with your father to build what you have today. And so that we were speaking about women from Sicily or outside of Italy who are looking towards the future. You are one of the most influential women in the Italian wine industry. So what would you tell these young ladies about pursuing their dreams and working hard knowing that in the end it all pays off?
Thank you for the question. So my advices are for both young men and young women. I suggest to explore the world with the curious eyes, take inspiration from everything and transform it in energy to make things and to practice the admiration for people are successful in life. So I suggest to practice positive meaning about all kinds of feeling.
Yeah, before you mentioned that you have been promoting Cantine Fina's wines all around the world. So you must have some great advice for us when presenting a wine at a dinner or to clients. What are the best tips or tricks to truly engage with them and make them fall in love with your wines?
So I always try to put something funny during my speech, talking to take high the attention and the participation of the people. So I think that the wines you have to communicate with the easy words and funny things also because people need to fall in love of this amazing word.
Yeah. So we are almost getting to the end of the interview. So I would like to start closing. So Federica, where can we find Cantina Fina wines? In which markets could it be possible to find, for example, Caro Maestro or Quique, Quebrila wines?
Okay, so Italy is our main country, of course, but we sell also in others market like Korea, Japan, UK, United States, and Maldives too. Can't wait to visit. Next month I will go to Mauritius for have a market visit with our importer. So our target is grow up outside Italy, of course. We have two export manager, Roberto Cardinale and Melania Adamo, that started to work with us 6 years ago, and they made an incredible job about that.
So lucky you that you are traveling all around the world. So you explained that you're also in charge of tasting and that your hands are always involved with customers. My question is, if someone is visiting, for example, Marsala for the first time, stops by your winery to buy a wine and ask you to choose one paired with a traditional local dish, which wine and dish will you recommend? Or is there a trattoria or local place you suggest visiting when your wines are served when someone goes to Marsala?
So I suggest to pairing our grillo firma del tempo with the couscous. Couscous is a typical dish from this area, this part of Sicily, just from the west part, from Trapani, Marsala area. Is an Arabic kind of food because in this part of Sicily we have high Arabic influence in the food, in the culture, in the architecture, in our dialect. So it's and couscous you can prepare with different kind of ingredients. The most famous is with the sub fish. This is a little bit spicy, and I suggest if you visit Marsala, you have to visit my winery, of course, because we have a stunning sunset in front of, behind the Gadi Island, and then to test the couscous with my Firma del Tempo. About the restaurant and trattoria to suggest, I have a long list because in Marsala you can eat really well, but I can spoiler everything today because I'm with you and all the group that hearing us, that listening us, to have in Marsala for meet you directly here.
Well, I have to book another trip to Marsala and do your wine pairing with couscous and your wines. Definitely. So finally, you are the traveler of the winery. As I already said, and you said because you're traveling around the world, and you have already told us about a traditional pairing with your wines. What about an international pairing? For example, something unexpected or crazy that your importers suggested during a wine dinner that completely blew your mind. Keep in mind, I am Mexican and our cuisine is a little wild.
Thank you for this question. I have a funny story about that because we produce our taif that is Zibibbo dry, the dry version of Zibibbo. Zibibbo is a kind of variety, it's like Muscat of Alessandria, used to make a dessert wine, but the mine is the dry version. We pick up the grapes a little bit early for produce the dry version. So it's a kind of wine that you could pairing with seafood, with lobster, oyster. It's happened in the United States that during a wine dinner I found my Zibibo dry, my taif paired with dessert. So it's so funny because it's a little bit aromatic, but they make a mistake with the pairing just because it's called Zibibo.
Yeah, actually, dry cibibo is always paired with dessert in Mexico too. It's like, sorry, but yeah, we also made that mistake here too. So thank you, Federica, for sharing with all of us your knowledge, your histories, your soul, and your winery with the Italian Wine Podcast.
Thank you so much for this big opportunity. I was clear to explain my story. So I told you that English is not my first language. I have to improve. I need practice, and thank you also for this opportunity to practice my English. So hope to see you soon in Sicily, Beatrice, Alberto, and all the members of the house in this moment.
Thank you so much, guys. That was such a nice interview. How you doing after this long excursion about wine, music? I've heard some of my favorite Italian names about music that was listing in this conversation. So how you doing, guys?
Molto
Amazing.
amazing. I think I hope you understood everything that I tried to told in English.
That was perfect, Fede. Really, no problem at all.
Thank you. I hope to have you soon in Sicily in my winery.
That would be really nice also because I was never in Sicily. So it would be also my first time there. So, Alberto, we can go together there. So,
Of course, we need to enjoy wines and the sun in Sicily, please. And a good canola, please,
yes,
too.
please.
Of course,
Yes,
we can
too.
pairing the cannolo with our elaziz, the late harvest of Grillo.
Can't we go tomorrow? Like, yeah. So, no, this is out of the situation. But in any case, thank you so much, guys,
Grazie.
to spend some time with us. And for wrapping these things up, for those who are interested to participate, just send us a DM through our Instagram or mail our Italian Wine Podcast producer at info@italianwinepodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening in, and thank you so much again, Alberto and Federica. That's a wrap from Italian Wine Podcast. Ciao ciao a tutti!
Ciao, buona giornata.
Ciao,
Have a
grazie.
good day.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, chin chin.